What we're looking at here is a Stihl FG2. It is a very well made bench mounted file guide for round filing. After a lot of playing around with it, I have worked out a basic way of square filing with one. There are some limitations with it, which I'll run through, and I'll also show you how to achieve this if you want to do it. So move the camera and show the very basics of this. So the limiting factor in being able to do this with the standard FG2 is the amount of tilt angle that you have. You require more than it can give you. Base settings on it is only 10 degrees either way. To be able to square file, you need to be coming up at a lot more angle than that. So as you can see on this one, it's been modified. It's just done with a round file, and I've just extended the original sort of jelly bean kidney shape that was up there, moved it further to the sides. This allows enough angle for it to go up and down. I'm not 100% sure how much angle is on it, to be honest, at the minute. I probably should measure it, but at this stage I couldn't tell you. It was just done until it felt about right. The next thing we need to talk about is the files. I've only been able to find one type of file that can do this. It will not do it with the double or single bevel files. They need to be the 3 square files. More specifically, it needs to be the velobes. What we're looking at here is 3 different versions of the 3 square files. So that's a third version. It will work to a degree, but not as well as the others. This one is a Stihl branded version. I'm not sure who manufactured it originally because it has no other markings on it. It is slightly different to the third. It is closer to that than the velobe, but it is different. Most success I've had is with the velobes. So these files are different to the others in how thin the section is that forms the side plate, and also the shape. It has a slight curve to it. It makes it suitable for using for this application because you can use that slight curve and it's very small radius to be able to do this. So if you are looking to do this, if you have an FG2 and you want to do it, these are the files you'd want. So that's them in a box. That's the part number if you're trying to order a box. So yeah, if you're going to do this, that's the file that you want to use. Just while I'm at it, that is Stihl's triangle file that they sell for the FG2. That exists, it can sharpen clearing saw blades, but its main use is on an FG2 to do depth gauges. So if you've never seen one of them, that's how they work. Another limitation you'll find if you do this is you can only move the file a certain amount. We run out of clearance room, so we can't run the guides all the way up and down. So you do get a bit of a limited stroke depending on the size and height of the chain you're using and the angles you're coming in at. The next limiting factor we get is the amount of top plate angle we can get on it. So that's your regular filing angle across the top of the tooth. So we'll have a look at this one. I'll zoom right in on it. As you can see, there's only about 10 degrees across there. With square, I usually aim for around 15 or 20. I have had some luck recently running up to 25. It is not achievable with this. If you tilt the file more to put in more top plate angle, it removes any side plate angle you had. So that is a limitation. The next limitation you will find is mostly due to the shape of these files. The side section on these that forms a side plate is not exactly flat. There is a slight radius to it. You will have to adjust the file height to the point that you can get a reasonable amount of side plate. You will not get them very pretty, photogenic looking square filed cutters when you're done. That's just not what happens with this type of file, no matter how you use it. You will get a square filed chain, just won't look as good as what you can do with a double bevel. That's the very basics of it. I'm not going to go into any more in-depth details on this at the minute because I've only done 2 chains with it, and I honestly don't know if this works for everything or in every situation. It's probably not something I'm going to continue to do a lot of. I will experiment with it to try and give people more information on it. It is a very good option if you have an FG2 or you've thought about getting one. This could be a good option to get you into square if you've tried before and had a hard time controlling the file. Obviously, square filing is very difficult because you can trying to control 3 different angles at once. This can help simplify it. Just A word of warning, it is not a surefire bet to make this simple. These velour 3-square files are very difficult to use. Even in a file guide, it is difficult. You need to be on your A game trying to line up that corner. It is very small. The shape it puts into it is very small. So it still takes some effort. However, it does control a lot of that file movement, which will probably make things a lot easier for most people. So if you have one of these and you want to try it, as I said, you need to extend that slot in the top to get more down angle. I don't believe I've got the full 45 down that you'd usually use. However, there's something there that is workable. It's probably in the range of 30, I'd say. When I'm doing this, this is currently set on 30 degrees of filing angle, your regular top plate angle. I'm adjusting that with the down angle and the way that the file sits in there to try and create that shape. There is a lot of playing around to be done there. There may be some merit in trying to shim the file so it sits on a slightly different angle. That would allow different top plates. But like I said, this is only something I've tried just to see if it was possible. It's not something I've looked into very far. I may do more later on, but that's the basics of it. So if you have one of these and you've always wanted to try square, this may be an option.